Are you planning to buy land? Stop wasting time searching for random land on Facebook, WhatsApp groups, and countless websites. Try Mukeo app. Search land across Kenya by location, budget, and size. Compare listings in one place and expand your search area to discover more opportunities nearby. Can't find the right land? Submit a buyer request and Mukeo will notify matching sellers. Spend less time searching, less time traveling, and more time finding the right land. Download Mukeo today on Google Play and App Store.
Welcome to our conversation with Manyora. These conversations, we hold them in order to ensure that we keep talking so that our country doesn't lose track. We remain a serious country because there are challenges, especially now that we are facing an election. We have to keep talking. We bring men and women who contribute to these conversations so that they enrich the conversations and the country is able to move forward and remain steady. Today, once more, we are privileged to have a young tomboya, young man, Odhiambo Otieno.
Yes.
Quite eloquent, communication expert, strategist. Let's start here.
Yes.
I was watching a clip yesterday night, and you are arguing with another young man. I think it's called Jakim. And he was talking about staff. And you seem to have been defending government, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. Does it mean you have decided to work with and for government, which is nothing wrong? Are you working with them?
No, I'm not working with them, unfortunately.
Are you selling the ideas?
Not yet.
Previous conversations we have had, we tended to agree that government is falling short when it comes to communication.
Yes.
Do you still hold the view?
I still hold the view.
Yes.
I've not departed from that very premise that there's a big gap in communication, state communication, especially when we talk about government comms, leave alone the political comms.
Yes.
For political comms, I believe they're doing their best. I see the way they try to react, which is good. The proactive communication is good in terms of the political side, but government communication is bad.
Yes.
It's doing badly. Maybe with the coming of Charles Owino, we're about to see some changes, because I could ask you how many government officers or ministers have sat on this very chair to talk about government policy. They need to adjust in terms of the new...
Even ministers, when you ask them to come, I've only talked to Mbadi.
Yes.
And he did a good job.
Yes. Mbadi now understands
what he did a very good job.
Yes.
And I was with Mbadi on this a day before budget.
Yes.
And he did a fantastic job.
Yes.
You keep feeling. There's a time we had prepared for the CS Health.
Yes.
The lady before she left. You know, when you are receiving a minister, you must be very well prepared. You polish the chairs and everything. In the last moment, she didn't come.
Yes.
And I think someone lied to her that we will slaughter her. We were just going to give her a platform to explain. Are you therefore saying that there is plenty that this government has done, which is not coming out?
In terms of, I don't know exactly what, in terms of the hard data, in what government has achieved, because I don't work with them.
Yes.
But from what I see, I'm discussing from a very pedestrian view, just like any other citizen is seeing, that for the brick and mortar, there's ABC that's going on. We've talked about just outside here. We're looking at the Ngong Road flyover or bypass, what they built here. Just behind us, we have the Talanta Stadium. We have the affordable housing, which of course I've criticized before, that it should be social housing and not affordable housing. I don't believe in people having too much disposable income that they can purchase houses.
Yes.
Instead of purchasing houses, I'd rather we use too much disposable income in growing businesses, which will expand the private sector and employ more people.
Yeah.
And housing should remain entirely to be social housing, to help us control rent, one, and two, to help us restore dignity of the common person.
Yes.
So right now, if we go into ownership, house ownership is one of the, in my view, one of the most stupid decisions to make. Because if you look at some of the biggest banks in Kenya today, they still rent even their HQs.
Yes, yes, yes.
And they have financial advisors within those banks.
Yes.
That should send a message that owning a home, yes, it gives you social security, but economically, it doesn't make much sense. Yeah. Okay, so that's why I always say affordable housing ought to move to. There should be a policy change, especially whether a new government comes in or this one remains. It must shift to what I call social housing. So I argue from the base of a pedestrian. I'm looking at what has been done, and that is perhaps what I'm out of altruism, not because they pay me anything or because somebody in government has approached me, but also in the fashion of the show where I sit. We did invite government officers quite a number of times and they didn't show up.
Yes.
So we did agree with the host then that can you then try and become the devil's advocate? And he branded me the government apologist.
It was just for the show.
Yes, it was just for the show.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it stuck.
Yes.
So when I started doing this pro-government argument, deductive reasoning, most people would say, you're supporting government, right? You're supporting government. So when I meet now the government people, they're like, yeah, you're doing a good job, but they never give me nothing. I've never understand from them.
Do you think if government were to explain itself and let people and then let people see what they are doing, do you think it will do better than it is doing in terms of the politics of the land?
Yes. If they toned down on politics and concentrated more on communicating better with the people, then they would win more hearts. Especially, it's a question of which position does the government occupy.
Yes.
Those who are in the regime are taking the position that they are administrators and not for the people. And that becomes their biggest Waterloo. Because if they took the position that they are for the people and become an activist presidency, then it will appear to the people that these people identify with us. But at this moment, you hear them talking, most of them, they're talking about the rest of the citizens like they belong on the other side. Now, them, they are the rulers or the kings, so to say. And that is a brand position question, which can be sorted through communication. But most of them in government do not understand that brand positioning is not only for commercial end, it is also for political end and also for the government.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other day, regarding Gachagua,
yes,
came just a day before the president and his team talked about vision, whatever they called it, 2060, whatever it is, or beyond the 2030. And he gave a scorecard, Ruto at 4. Hardly an hour or so after, the entire government bench, headed by the leader of majority, was countering what Gachagua had said, blow by blow, with the sheaf of papers, showing they had been following Gachagua's speech and taking notes, perhaps with a full secretariat. What is your reaction to that?
I watched that, and I think it was also another big mistake in government communications.
Yes.
Because there are things you don't react to. Like Gachagua's speech didn't need a reaction, if you ask me.
Yes.
Because what he was saying, he was simply referring to media reports, which are already in the public parlance. So you doing that is making it, growing the echo louder.
Yes.
And that is something that is very wrong. Though I like one person who responded. I don't like Kimani Ichung'wah's response because he was trying to brand Gachagua in a particular way, saying Gachagua is a chief goon, etc. Of course, we all know Gachagua is not a goon. I think that is disrespectful. When Junet Mohammed responded to Gachagua, that is how to respond.
Yes.
You pour cold water on his statements, not by giving him a new brand, because now you look like you're tussling with him. But if you pour cold water on what he's saying, then it is easier in a funny manner, in a comical way. It loses the weight. But Kimani Ichung'wah gave it the
blow by blow.
Blow by blow.
Which means, first of all, the idea of watching, following, keenly, and almost scared. And the reactionary.
Actually, that's the thing. When Kimani Ichung'wah talks, President Ruto still needs a bit of Mount Kenya. And somebody from President Ruto's camp should never speak against the Mount Kenya leaders in any way, including Kimani Ichung'wah. He was the last person to come or to be that I expected to be speaking, because when he speaks, the people who are undecided in Mount Kenya or who are still balancing but are Ruto leaning would want to hear a lot of humility coming from the generals who come from the mountain and are with President Ruto.
Yes.
So somebody who is accurate to respond to Gachagua is somebody who, of course, when the Kikuyus look at, let me use that term for these purposes, they don't see any competition that is existing, and that is somebody like Junet, a chief propagandist who has been very effective for the late Raila Odinga, and who can be very effective for President Ruto.
Not Ishungwa.
Not Ishungwa. Actually, any Kikuyu MP should not respond to Gachagua. Because the more you speak against him, the more it looks like you're persecuting him to the people. So let him speak his things. In fact, whatever he said, if you ask me, if we start with the Western question, because that was his first point, he said that Western has been gaining undue business or undue advantage over the rest of the hotels. The audited accounts are showing that Western has gained 57.9 million from government. We can compare against very many other hotels which have a bigger capacity for conferencing. Like the Safari Park Hotel. The ones in Naivasha that are owned by President Uhuru. The ones in Mombasa. And most government conferences actually head to Naivasha and Mombasa. So 57.9, and I know you know what money is quite a drop in the ocean if you compare in terms of businesses that are obtained. But is it right for Western Hotel to do business with the government? One, yes. Two, no. Yes, because it is legal to do business with the government. Any business entity, as long as it is legal, it's fine. But when it is illegal, that some money was looted and laundered through Western Hotel, then that becomes a very serious question that has to be dealt with accurately. Now, if you look at that question, for example, if I were giving a response, I would not respond to Gachagua by branding him in another way. I would simply pour cold water and say, this is the same person who in Parliament papers, and this is, I'm referring to Parliament papers, not my head, is accused of gaining Treetops Hotel a long lease in an irregular manner. A long lease is more advantageous than 57.9 million shillings. Of course, it is comparing apples versus oranges. But you see, it gives it the correct position.
On this show, you are not a government apologist.
No, I'm not.
We don't have that arrangement. How are you?
I'm trying to look at the reductive reasoning in terms of communication. How should the government respond? Now, if you ask me, the biggest fail in this thing is also the media. Because we need to have data journalists in these media houses that are able to fact check. So if I were the state, I would find out from Media Council, I would find out from a friendly media house, or I would find out from the media generally. Would you love to run a fact check on whatever he was saying and do an actual piece on it? And
but let me ask you,
objective piece.
I have seen that. I have seen fact check.
On NTV Media.
First of all, the fact check themselves are always wrong. There's an organization, I don't know what they are called. They were fact checking me sometimes. I told them you are useless because they get it wrong. Because you move things out of context. So you are looking for a dry answer. And getting the dry facts outside the context. Then you get it wrong. So besides that aside, I was also wanting to ask you: do you think it can achieve anything? Because you see, we are in a political system. And everything government is doing is about getting re-elected. Would it really matter, even if you said, I saw some fact check that Gachagua said this, the truth, however, is would that even help anybody?
Well, it does.
To who? The average voter?
I will explain. It does, especially when you look at the share of voice in the media. Because the share of voice then directly equals your influence in that space, or the narrative that is carried, the agenda setting theory of the media. When very many firms or very many organizations do fact check and they present it, then it becomes the predominant agenda. And people say, oh, alisema hiyo, lakini fact check wanasema imetoa.
So if it builds up into something.
Into something. That's how we're looking at, if, for example, a politician is having a strong opponent. You know, if you're an incumbent, it's very easy for you to lose a narrative. Because the work of the opponent is very simple, just to point at the ills you're doing. As an incumbent, you have to actually work. And for you to actually work, you have to get a lot of laws in order, follow the processes, and by the time you're following a process, it could take 1 year before you actualize, or 2 or 3. And for you then to gain is for you to look at, one, what is my share of voice in the media? That is why you see, for example, in the USA today, the government has adopted podcasters, for example, and the digital level journalists to come and sit in the briefing room, in the White House briefing room, alongside the
Mainstream media.
mainstream media. Why are they doing that? Why is President Trump going to podcasts? And we never.
So Manyora would be there.
Of course, when they're doing, and we expect my friend Charles Owino to now be hosting weekly briefs, state briefs, not reverberating or not telling us just as Mwalimu had said, because that's what the immediate former spokesperson was doing.
Yes.
Once a minister talks, he says, we will brief about what the minister talked about.
Yes, yes.
So once he has this chamber, or once he has this press brief, weekly press briefs, we expect to see 10 slots allocated to podcasters and bloggers. Because this, in the wake of new journalism, these are the new media. These are the people are listening to currently. So we expect to see Professor Manyora there. We expect to see all the other guys seated there and taking note of this. And we expect to see the president speaking on podcasts, because here we don't frame. It's a free range of communication.
How would the president think of coming to our shows on the podcast when his ministers are themselves not willing to?
Some of the ministers in the government are very lethargic, and they have a lot of imposter syndrome and low self-esteem in this regime. I've seen some of them. Yes. They don't have the subject domain expertise. For example, you find somebody, and I don't mean that this is directly related to what I'm talking about. You find somebody in the Ministry of, let's say, Agriculture, who studied communication. No, he studied communication. This is Senator Mutahi Kagwe. Yes. I think he runs one of the best PR firms in East Africa. Yes. But you see, he's been put in agriculture. So you invite Mutahi Kagwe to come and speak about agriculture. He may find himself at odds because he is not a subject matter expert or in agriculture. But in policy, yes, he can come and talk about policy. Now, the other question becomes, what is the official cabinet stand or policy in terms of communication? Up to this moment, you'll find that there's Rutophobia within the cabinet. And even the president talked about it in a version. He said,
why are you not talking about this?
Why are you talking about these things in the media? The journalists are
when you invite him here, such a media that has audience, they don't want to come.
They don't want to come. And the president is asking them why.
Yes.
So it's upon the president also to ask himself one question. Why are my ministers, I call them surrogates,
afraid of going to media houses?
What do they lack? If it's a training question, if it's a capacity question, invite Professor Manyora.
I train them.
He will train them. He will tell them, this is how you approach the media. Yes. Just give an answer of what you perceive to be true or what is true.
Yes.
And there's a way you can avoid questions that do not necessarily pit you or pit the regime or pit the government against the people. So there are those questions within the regime. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now I actually invited you here because I wanted us to talk about the Vision 2060. What's your top of the head take? Because people have talked a lot. People have said, look here, Vision 2030 has not been actualized, at least in a way people can see. And we still have a couple of years to go. And then the elections around the corner. You wonder by an inclusive process. With people spoiled in politics and is the environment is highly conducive. It's so polarized. One would wait perhaps until after next year's election, when tempers have cooled, dust has settled, people can now agree to sit down and craft a vision for the country if it is necessary. What is your take?
One, it's not going to cool down anytime soon. Even post-2027, whoever is elected to be president, the emotions are going to go higher. The the cost of living is going to go higher. That I can tell you confidently for this reason. If we look at, first of all, the political question that we are facing is the question of the referendum, because we have a question on the term of the presidency. Article 142, Article 136 are sitting in contravention of each other. One says that the term of an MCA, an MP, governor, and senator is 5 years. Then another one says that the election of this cadre will be done on the same day as the election of the president. But look at Article 146. It says that the president's election will be done on the second Tuesday in the 5th year, not after the 5th year. And similarly, we have a question of phonetics here. What is the difference between in and after? Now, if this is the question, then we must go to the people and ask them, because you are the sovereign. Give us a definite answer, because Article 255 of the Constitution gives us that window. under, I think, item 6, the term of the presidency can only be defined, extended, or reduced by the people at the referendum.
Yes, yes, yes.
Do we also have other things that could be included in this referendum which is inevitable? Yes. Like, do we need to have Nairobi County remaining as a county? No, in my view. But it is a question that we need to take to the people, because reducing the number of counties is also a referendum question. Now, set that aside. 2, we're having the question of, does Kenya need to move forward or not? I'm one of those people, Professor, who has repeatedly said from 2021 that Kenya needs to review very fast our vision. Because we had Vision 2030, amazing. Do we have some scores? Yes. Do we have some fails? Immense. Does it stop us from dreaming and thinking? No.
No.
Now, in 2001 or 2, by that time I was a kid. You were very much
Of course, I was an old
functional
man.
as an old man. And you guys decided to give us a vision of what you dreamt that Kenya would be by 2030.
Yes.
One of them was the SGR. Another one was free primary education. We were dreaming about universal health coverage. We were dreaming about housing, all these things. Have we achieved some of them? Of course.
Yes, yes.
Now, by that time, we were looking at it from a dream position. Now, something has shifted. And that is why Vision 2060 is important for us to have a discussion about it. That now you can't talk about a vision from a dream perspective. You must talk about a vision from data. Because now we can be able to gain insights from researchers. Universities can tell us. They can develop predictive models and tell us this is how Kenya will behave in terms of, if we model consumer behavior, if we model political behavior, this is what we are projecting that will happen. Then based on that data prediction and modeling, we are able then to agree that in the next 20 or 30 years, we don't need Nairobi, or we don't need to have Nairobi as the capital city of Kenya, because the population explosion will be something else. So we shift upwards towards the center of Kenya, which is Isiolo. Let us now move the capital city from Nairobi to Isiolo. Do we need to devolve these ministries to areas where they're relevant? Yes. Why do we need to have Ministry of Fisheries, for example, or blue economy in Nairobi? What is it doing in Nairobi? Can we have it in Mombasa? Can we have another department of it in Kisumu, for example, next to the water bodies? Ministry of Agriculture, why is it in Nairobi? What is it doing in Nairobi? Can we have the Ministry of Agriculture somewhere in Rift Valley or in Kitale? And so many. Ministry of Trade can remain here, the core ministries, of course, but the rest, can we push them out? Now that brings me to the question, which I don't see in Vision 2060. Do we need a presidential system, or do we need a parliamentary system moving forward? In my view, and my strong thinking, is that we must start talking about a parliamentary system. And that must be part
Are you there? Why do you appear to be mixing the economy and the politics within this vision?
Because you can't talk about economy without politics. How? If you want to talk about economy, if you want to talk about...
because the president himself, in launching this, when he addressed the nation a couple of days ago, last week or the other week, he said, we have sort of sorted out in a major way the constitutional issue, the issues of our democracy. It's time we concentrated on prosperity, which is the economy. Why are you mixing them?
The question of economy, the president has his...
He said, I remember the word, we have established the foundations for our democracy.
That is true.
It's time we establish foundations for our prosperity, which means the economy.
I fault the president on one thing.
Yes.
His worldview is private and personal. He must not impose it on the people. He can only share as he has shared that. Then I suggest, as your leader, that this is the direction we go.
Yes.
And then we're in a democracy. We are open to say yes or no. And I would say, it is faulty for him to say that we have sorted. We haven't sorted, because our political infrastructure is still very weak. It is weak our democracy is robust, but the political institutions are weak for this reason. Parliament is the bastion of democracy. Parliament is the bastion of representation, and further is the bastion of oversight. Now today, everybody in this country knows that Parliament was impeached. Parliament has been taken over. Parliament does not have a spine. You see the Speaker of Parliament talking the way he talks.
Yes.
There's no neutrality in him. You should take a note from Otieno Marende. As much as we knew that Otieno Marende was supporting Raila, but in public, he had a posture that was very royal.
Yeah.
That was deserving of a speaker. Now, if we're talking about the institutions of democracy, then we must first sort the question of who has the final responsibility of oversight of all our institutions. It's Parliament.
Parliament, yeah.
And Parliament will not operate so long as we have dual legitimacy, where the president is elected via popular vote, and Parliament is also elected via popular vote. Because there's grandstanding now. And the president, being elected via popular vote, then being in charge of executive, gives him some near godly powers for him to stop Parliament on its tracks.
Yes, yes.
So let's sort the issue of parliamentary representation. First of all, let's look at the qualifications of people who get to Parliament. Today, Professor, you must be in disappointment of what this Parliament is.
Yeah.
We have money launderers in this Parliament.
Yes.
We have immense thieves. We have convicts who have actually been convicted and are out on appeal in this Parliament. And so many other characters who can't define the word policy, who don't know the meaning of representation. Worst of all is in this Parliament, if we look at reporting tools, because wewe ni mjumbe, ina maana unatoka kwenye constituency na ujumbe ukija nao bungeni. How many of these parliamentarians have cracked their head to figure out that you need a reporting tool from the people? Because you are reporting on behalf of the people. Parliament as current, the MPs are reasoning, are representing from the imagination of their heads. That this is what I imagine our people want. And this was evidenced by the Finance Bill of 2024. They were telling you, we don't have a problem with you, just change a clause.
Yes.
And these people are refusing.
Yes.
If we had a reporting tool that in BBI, we had a discussion about it, that let's infuse in BBI the Office of the National Rapporteur. That will help us have representation of the Rapporteur's office up to the constituency level, or even up to the ward level. So that a parliamentarian, an MCA, a governor, whoever, does not reason on behalf of the people. It is the people who tell you what to do.
And they're able to process what the people have said.
Exactly. It is what the people have said. Don't change even a comma. You can only change if there's a wrong spelling.
Yes.
But don't change even a comma. Now take that. Go defend the position of the people in Parliament.
Yes.
That is one. As long as we have not sorted that out, how are we talking about we've sorted out our foundations of democracy? Not true. Two, IEBC up to this moment is still not even clear on when the election date should be.
Yes.
They're leaving it to the courts to interpret. Now, once we sort that through the referendum, then we are good to go. But not still. Prof, I'll tell you, I could be very young, but something that I'm aware of is that change is constant. And you can't have a temporary permanence in your mind by saying that now we have tumefika. Now once umesema umefika, then things start going wrong for you. And I'm proud of you, for example, for this reason, that at your age, Professor, I was telling you guys here, you're still working very hard. You're doing 3-4 recordings in a day.
Yes.
How many professors of your age who have retired and gone back home and are talking about when I was.
Yeah.
I remember when I was studying in Frankfurt, when I was studying where, when I was. So when you start talking about when I was, you are going obsolete. You're getting out of the market.
Yes.
So just in the fashion that you are in, where you are forward-looking and you're saying, you know what, I'm most effective in the ages that I am.
Thank you, yeah.
The same way is how a country must be run. That it is a project that is always ongoing. Because Gen Zs today, their reasoning is very different from ours, even mine. When they listen to me talk, some of them may be having a very different opinion on how they want this country run. I'll tell you, for example, we're talking about the question of economy. Okay? Economy cannot stem from the air. It comes from policies. Proper policies will influence proper economy.
Yes.
One of the policies that has to change, that is a function of democracy and politics, that will influence the economy, is the question of the employment contracts. The labor laws in this country are looking at permanent and pensionable. They're not talking about gig economy. I've told you here before, these gentlemen and ladies who come from the Gen Z era do not want 8 to 5.
No, they don't want.
Yeah.
And wanakosana na waajiri wao because of that. They look at what ought to be done, not at the clock.
No. They want outcome-based kind of working. They want to do 2 to 3 jobs or even 10.
Yes.
Now, if that is their thinking already, in social behavior and modeling, you're aware, you don't force people into what you want. You allow them and then create agreements or laws that agree with what they want.
Yes.
So in that fashion alone, if employment is huge, 83% of our economy today is informal.
Yes.
These informal people we are talking about are the Gen Zs, they're the millennials,
Yes.
who are doing a job here,
Yes, the young people, yes.
etc. So we must first reform something as basic as the labor laws to then conform into our structure of economy. Then we talk about our aspiration. So President is faulty on saying we have sorted. We have not yet sorted. There's some work that has been done, beautiful, we can do better.
So would you therefore be thinking along the lines of what some of us have been thinking, that the political question is very critical, that you need to sort out the political question beyond what we have done, beyond the periodic elections every 5 years and so. You need to ask very serious questions and sort of have a national conversation around the political question. And with that sorted, then you can address the issue of the economy.
You can't absolutely solve either.
Yes.
They run concurrently.
Your view is that they should run
concurrently.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
I understand gentlemen, maybe there are ladies there, a number of who are known to me, we more or less work in the same place, already have crafted something and presented it to the president, and the president is now presenting to the people. Was that the best way to start?
No.
What would have been the best way?
Vision 2060 is a beautiful conversation. And I love the procedure that the president is using. He's not saying, Anyang' Nyong'o professor and his team have given me a document. This is the document Kenyans are moving forward with. That's not how this country works. This is a country where we talk to each other.
But that's what they have done. And Yang Yong was on TV and you saw him. He says somebody had to do it.
They have a suggestion. Of course, you must begin from a hypothesis. What do you think we need to do?
They have a document.
And
Yes.
and allow me to say this.
Yes.
That somebody, I would not like to go into personalities, but somebody like Anyang' Nyong'o writing to us a vision into the future is a gift, because he has empirical evidence that helped us in crafting Vision 2030.
Yes.
But that was then. Now we need to question, and the president is inviting us that can we have a conversation? He's not saying this is what we are going to do. He's suggesting this is what these people suggested. Now how do we move forward? So in my view, Prof, there are things that we have to talk about. One of them being, yes, a vision is important for a country. That's undeniable.
Yes.
And it can't be a partisan thing.
Yes.
And that is why when he invited everybody to the table, I expected to see very strong voices opposing, or some of them critically adding their voices on what should be done. Like, for example, yes, you suggested that we need to have this type of economy moving forward. I will tell you, one of the visions that I would want to see in that paper moving forward is, can we redefine development from brick and mortar to people empowerment? Can we redefine development from trade loans to sovereign venture capital being established in this country, where these young men who have brilliant ideas can receive funding direct from the government? Then, in that development question, can we have the establishment of incubation centers compulsory in every county, if not in every constituency? It will cost about 100 million to construct each. That gives us a bridge between the school and the market. Because today, we were being taught spiracles, thorax, and abdomen. I've never used it anywhere since I graduated or since I left high school. So can we have a proper transition, even as we still deal with the basic education issues, the fundamentals? Now, two, under the structuring of this vision, can we talk about what or who, which institution is going to ensure that this vision is implemented? Not a task force, an institution. Because a vision is what guides any politician who comes to power. Because, politics is the portal to darkness. Politics is also the portal to prosperity for a country. You can have people who are very vile coming to power. You can have people who are very futuristic, like Professor Manyora, coming to power. The challenge is, what if we have a vile person in power? What will guide him on what to do? A template. Just like in our families, your dad, your mother, your grandfather, there is something about them that made you aspire to become a professor.
Yes.
There's something. It could be educational history. It could be that they were working with the missionaries. I don't know. I'm just speaking from my head. But there's a foundation somewhere that then provides a blueprint. And your son and your daughters, they will most definitely follow in your way, even if they don't want.
I have another concern.
Yes.
As we wind up, I'm being told time is up. When the conversations are good, time flies.
Time moves.
When you talk to me about a vision, vision 2060, 2090, whatever vision it is, including 2030, I would imagine there must be certain basics you have to do to convince me that really this dream is worth it.
Yes.
So when I look around, what are the low-hanging fruits? What are these ingredients? So that I walk with you the journey of dreaming about 2060. And I want you to tell me what you think. As a layman, as a person who doesn't know these things. I'm looking at a vision, Dubai to be what it is.
Right.
Is somebody's vision. And many other places. I'm looking at Kenya 2060. A land of prosperity. A land of plenty. A land where we have eradicated poverty and so on and so forth. And I'm asking myself, what are some of the must-have? You need money. You need resources. Now, in a country where theft is the order of the day, by the admission of the leaders themselves, that we are a thieving nation, we've even been told we thieve 2 billion every day. I'm asking myself, where will you get the resources to actualize dream, whatever dream you have? Let me look at another one, then I stop there, then you react. I'm saying, even if you had money, you stopped theft. And so money is not just about theft. It's about the ideas of how to generate money. Because as it is today, we're thinking of money from taxes, from poor people. Kenya does not have people you can tax into prosperity because they are poor people. They're just workers. They're poorly paid workers. I'm not seeing the thinking about Kenya generating revenue outside the taxes. So taxes and loans. I'm not seeing even the little we could do, we are selling those assets that could give us some little money. We are not even exploiting the natural resources we have. So I'm not seeing the money. And number two, even if you had the money, you need the brains.
Yes.
You need the brains. To actualize a vision, you need the brains, perhaps more than anything now. Then I ask myself, look at the education system. Are we doing anything about it? Can this education system produce the men and women who can realize our dream for the country? And I'm having my own doubts. But perhaps even from a very practical point of view, I'm looking at this country and saying, it's only people who can drive a country forward.
Right.
Look at your vision, your dream, and help you to push it forward. Now, in a country where there is no meritocracy, where for every job we have perhaps the worst person for that job, right from cabinet to everywhere. People given responsibilities are the very worst people for those jobs. How can you begin talking to us about dreaming, about 2060?
And that's why I said, one of the things that we must then sort is the public service question. Every politician around the country is running around talking about rights, etc., economy, but we're not sorting the machinery that should be driving us to that place. A vision, as beautiful as it could sound, can never be achieved as long as you have a rotten machine running it. And the public service is rotten. It is rotten for the following purposes. One, let's look at the base of an economy. It is education. It is agriculture. It is trade. But first of all, we begin from education. Today, teachers do not have refresher courses. They're being told, train CBC. In CBC, they're not being given the right tools to train. In CBC, they're not properly skilled. Teachers are stagnating in terms of promotion questions. Teachers cannot even afford proper lifestyles, what I call dignified basic lifestyles. They don't have them. You still find teachers who are going to pit latrines. If we talk about dignity, we can even start from that very indicator. That so long as somebody is going to a pit latrine and they don't have somewhere where they wash themselves properly, they don't have a proper lifestyle. So abuse of scholarship is sustained. Our universities are technically insolvent. They don't have money to run research programs are no longer coming from the government. For you to be, I believe by the time you became a professor, you were compelled to get donations from outside for you to qualify as a professor. In any case, if you ask me, as somebody who desires to be a don in the future, I look at the government should be able to avail some money for research opportunities that a PhD holder can
As
be able
indeed
to
it
apply.
happens in serious places.
Yes, in serious places, can be able to apply and sort a particular question. Like, for example, this question of employment. If the government had some money, or if they prioritized education, I would do a simple paper and present to them and tell them, I have a research paper that I intend, or a research topic that I intend to go through with my university and present a solution to you. And from what I'm saying already, you can see there's a direct solution to the question of unemployment. Now, that's a standard abuse to scholarship and the staff. Once you abuse the teacher cannot impart upon the student because they are not sufficient. They are pouring from this. They're not pouring from here. And you must ensure the teacher is overflowing for them to be able to succeed. Put that aside. Now look at public service in its eyes. We're having people who are serving P and P. For what reason? Why should you serve permanent and pensionable? You don't have anything else to do?
It's a job. So long as you wake up and go there, it doesn't mean whether you deliver or not is not the issue.
It's not the issue. In fact, the most lethargic...
People earn salaries because they're employed, not because they are working.
No, because they're just there.
Yes.
And they sign in or check in and check out.
Yes.
The most active hours of any employer or any employee is between 9 to 12.
Yes.
Beyond that, it is, unless you're in private business like here, you will find yourself having that as the most...
Diminishing returns.
After 12, people are at lunch, they take 2 hours in lunch, then they disappear into bars and they drink themselves to wastage. Now, once we look at the public service and reform this thing called performance contracting to a serious thing, revoke this thing called permanent and pensionable. Let guys work for 5 years and part of your money is saved for you, or it's compulsory, you save it and you start going into business. By the end of the 10th year, enda kwa biashara. Go and grow the economy. Let's have new people with new thinking come into government. We will drain the swamp. Because the president one time talked about something. I don't know if you remember. In the very early ages of his presidency. So was it roads? Was it what? Who was not transferable? You could try to transfer her, she would go to court. And you could not move her. It shows the level of impunity in these offices, in public service. If you go to birth certificate, where people apply for birth certificate,
a driver has the key to the car. Nobody else drives that.
Nobody else drives that car. You want a birth certificate, you're told pay 1,000 shillings for it to come out quickly. Yes. Why are we doing all this?
So let me just wind up. Are you? So do you agree with me that certain fundamentals must be right?
Must be sorted first. Public service, education, agriculture. This thing you're talking about,
and money in terms of for corruption.
I'm coming in a minute. If we sort the question of production, there are 5 industries which are not going out of business anytime soon. Health, agriculture, transport, and 2 more. But let me focus on agriculture. The easiest way, what God has given us, is land. Land is the biggest.
Good land,
Good land that you need for production. Let us over-invest in agriculture. So that we produce in excess, then improve the shelf life between farm and the plate.
And avoid wastage and loss and everything.
Then we have so much to export. Now, once we are able to export, then we're able to do it. As we export, as we have this agriculture sorted, the value chain that agriculture gives us is so huge that will attract foreign direct investments in terms of establishing the processing plants, the aggregation plants, and we move. Now, come to the question of money. We will not move forward, Professor, unless we look at ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves, what did we go wrong in the question of money? There's money that has been lost, is about 6 trillion shillings. Can we have it sorted? How do we have it sorted? My opinion is weird, but I'll give it nonetheless. Let us extend amnesty to the thieves who have our money.
Yes.
Because if we go legal, it will take forever. The other way is to go dictatorship.
We say return the money and then, or parts of it.
Just 50%. Let's invest that 50%.
Ulibia sisi bilioni 2, leta bilioni 1.
Leta bilioni 1. Weka hapa. It is.
Umeiba eka 10, rudisha 5.
Sometimes it is important to be peaceful and objective than being subjective and right.
Let's finish here because I'm told we must end. Do you think this vision is realizable? Do we need it at this time, or we can wait a bit before we craft it?
Let's have a conversation about this vision. It's a beautiful thing. We need it. there's no country that can run without a vision. A vision.
We need a vision.
We need a vision.
Do you think we should do it by the end of the year? They are saying it will have been turned into law, or you think we need to wait a little longer, maybe after the elections?
The beauty is that there's no permanence. I avoid the mentality of temporary permanence.
Yes.
Whether they say let's have it by the end of the year, it's fine. Let's have something to work with. Vision 2030 is still, we still have a
what would happen if another administration came into place?
We review.
You can review.
We can review. It is open.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Asante sana. Wakati unaongea na vijana mambo inakuwa ngumu sasa.